Can you dig it, Carl?
We got a cool new intro. We're getting big time now. How's it going? Welcome back to WCD Digits. That's Vic. I'm Carl. Thanks for joining us. Our usual Wildcard Wednesday live stream.
Why are you underdressed today?
I just got done coaching.
Collared shirt tonight. I thought it was collared shirt night.
Apparently, I didn't get that memo. So
We need to dress up. Suit
so we're
up.
kind of in that transition period, right? Where football's ramping up, baseball's winding down, basketball's going to be starting up here in about a month, hockey soon. So we're kind of in that transition period.
Bulls camp starts, I think, in like 13 days.
Skokes, what's going on, brother?
13.
So it's Wildcard Wednesday. Where do you want to start tonight?
I want to start talking really quickly about a Chicago Cubs outfield prospect that everybody needs to be aware of.
Who is that? I have no
His
idea
name
who
is
you're talking
Alexander Canario.
about. Okay.
Okay. Outfielder.
I have no idea who the guy is.
That's all right. Him and Matt Mervis are two players that Cubs fans need to keep an eye out for. Canario actually has had 34 home runs this season in the minor leagues. He's gone from single A to double A to triple A. And the other night he hit 3 home runs in triple A. And Mike Mervis, very similar, 34 home runs.
Jeffrey knows what you're talking about.
Help is on the way, Cubs fans. 3 dingers, Jeffrey.
What position does he play?
Outfield.
You want to narrow it down? You got 3 spots out there in the outfield. Unless this is
think
softball. Unless this is
I don't-
12-inch softball and he plays like a rover.
No, I literally don't think they have that defined for any of these guys coming up in the big leagues. I mean, they got Happ, they got Suzuki. And why am I having a hard time?
Ortega? Who's
Yeah,
in center field?
He's nothing.
I don't know who's your center field. I don't know anything about the Cubs. We know that.
2024. I agree, Jeff. I think 2024 is the year. But next year, 500 at least.
That might be the Sox rebuilding year after we blow the whole thing up.
Yeah, Brendan Davis is going to be. Well, I don't know. He's been hurt this year. I mean, he started off like gangbusters in spring training actually, and then he moved down. So that was one thing I thought that was kind of cool. Cubs are going to be up and coming.
They're playing well since the All-Star break. I got to admit that. Like, they're been playing well since the All-Star break.
They're actually playing over 500 baseball since the All-Star break, or right before the All-Tar break. I think I saw it was 28-26. So yeah, Pete Crow Armstrong is another one, man.
So if you're going to go out in free agency, are you still staying with the young guys, or are you going out in free agency and getting an arm or something?
I want a good first baseman.
Anyone?
I want a good first baseman and maybe a power. I don't know, maybe a power. We need a power hitter.
Can't you get a first baseman and a power hitter in the same?
Yeah, I mean that'd be fantastic.
I don't know who.
Some people would say bring back Rizzo.
It's Rolex time.
Yeah, they've got some big decisions to make because what are they going to do with Contreras and Happ too?
I like Frank the Tank.
Frank the Tank is not good, man. They
DFA'd
him.
I still like Frank the Tank.
Bullpen arms for sure because we got rid of them all. We traded them all. Yeah.
But are you still kind of in that rebuild? I mean, you're not going to go out on free agency, right? You're going to let these young guys develop, right? And
no. They're going to pick up some free agents this offseason to help bolster this team. and then see how some of the young players develop.
So how important is it, do you think, that they re-sign Contreras?
I think it's extremely important. I mean, he's like a veteran catcher who can solidify your staff, a good play caller. About who sucks? What's he
Are we
saying?
talking about
Because
Frank the
he's
Tank? Are we still talking about Frank the Tank still?
if we are, he stinks.
Um,
Yeah, he
I
was a
think,
good guy. He was a good guy, though.
is that your number one priority? Contreras?
Contreras, I would sign Contreras. Yeah, you're not getting a lot of great catchers out there.
Yeah.
Contreras is a all-star, good player, good in the clubhouse. So I think that's where you start off. I'm not too Hap. I think you can find other Haps, and think you could find someone with more power. I think ultimately we're going to hang with Hap for one more year, and after that year, he's going to be gone, and one of the young guys are going to replace him.
Okay, so with all this wealth of potential outfield talent, right? Here's the other question I pose to you:
You might end up trading some of them.
Do you trade the farm to get Shohei Ohtani?
Trade the farm?
Like, you're gonna have to give up a lot to get him.
For one guy, why would you do that?
I'm asking the question.
He's amazing. Who wouldn't love to have him? But I'm not getting rid of all those people just for one player. They need
DR,
too
thanks
many.
for checking in, man. Thanks for checking back in.
I agree, DR. Absolutely. All right. So, hey, what about you, Sox fans? How disappointed are you?
Last night was frustrating. That's just kind of like the microcosm of how our season went last night. You know, we get close, and then we had a lead, and then Lambert walks two guys right at the start of the seventh inning. They tie it, and then we go to extras. They go up by 2 runs. We score 2 runs off of their closer, who's basically the best closer in the American League at this point, right?
Yeah.
And then we give up 5 runs in the 11th. You know, they tried. I mean, no, I'm glad they had the fight in them last night, but it was just one of those things again. Like, we just couldn't get the timely pitching. We couldn't get the timely hit. And once again, we just kind of fell by the wayside. So it'll be interesting what happens in the offseason. Can I get some jelly, strawberry jelly and butter with that?
No, I just wanted to put out what signified the Sox.
See, look, Jeffrey even says it.
Sox, they're toast.
No, I'm talking about what Jeffrey said for the Cubs. Trade the farm, trade the cattle, trade the tractor pro. Shohei.
Well, you know what? Honestly, if they can do that and then spend a ton of money on other free agents, go ahead. I just think that's a lot of they will be asking for what, 6 to 8 people for him.
But that gives you a starting pitcher, an outfielder.
Wait, how does it get? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like you're giving up too much.
That's why I asked the question.
How the Angels doing?
Well, yeah, they're not great, but again, their season was kind of toast by Joe Madden, right? They were winning. They were winning.
We're always blaming the coaches here, man.
They were winning, and not always, but
yeah, a lot of times.
Joe Madden didn't do them any favors this year, but it's amazing that the Angels have a team.
Toast.
Yeah. Anyway, the Angels have a team with Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and they're as bad as they are. I don't get it.
No, yeah. Well, they don't have enough players, so you can't just.
What do you think? What Jeffrey says here?
I'll get Judge. Judge. What is Judge? Did Judge just get re-signed, man?
61 homers, man. He's at like 60 homers. I think he tied Roger Maris already.
Yeah, he's one of I think six players that hit over 60. Who are they? Does anybody know? I mean, Sammy, McGuire, Bonds, that hit at least 60. Maris, 4. Judge, 5. Did Manny Ramirez hit 60?
I don't think so. I can
Somebody
look
looked
it up really
that.
quick.
Somebody looked that up.
Hold
man.
on, let me check with the research department real quick.
I heard the research department is pretty good. It's usually me,
Look it up.
but you're doing that. Carlos, yes, getting rid of Carlos Rodon killed the Sox. They really needed that. Oh, duh, Babe Ruth. Oh, dear Lord. We should be canceled right now.
You should be canceled.
You didn't mention it either, too, buddy.
I didn't. Yeah.
I listed all the other dudes.
Let's see.
Yeah,
I'm trying to look up his stats.
Carlos Rodon walking off. What do you think about Jose Abreu? He is a free agent this year.
You got to resign him.
Yeah,
I don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to go anywhere anyway.
How old is Jose?
34.
34.
I think 34, maybe 35. But I don't think he wants to go anywhere. You probably will be able to get him for less money, or about the same money he's making now. I don't think he's going to want more money. He just wants to be back in the Sox.
What about Andrews?
Andrews?
Isn't that how you say his name, or no?
Who's that?
Andrus, buddy.
Who are we talking about?
For the Sox, the guy that did. Hold on a second, man.
I don't know anyone named Andrews on the Sox right now. Look at that roster. You talking about Vaughn?
No, man.
Oh, Elvis.
Yeah,
Elvis
Andrews.
I say you sign him to sign him to a 1-year deal and let him play second base.
He's been outstanding.
He's been fantastic. He's been the energy guy. Thanks,
Yeah,
Jeffrey.
well,
I didn't know what he said. Andrews. I'm like, who's Andrews?
Well, I think that's how you say his last name. I'm the
Andrews.
Cubs fan here. Andrews. Okay.
Okay.
Well, he's been a stud. All right, so let's turn the table to Bears.
That's what everyone's here for.
You think everybody's here? The whole four?
Everybody, usual crowd. I think Joe's out there lurking somewhere out there too.
Maybe. So, what do you think about the new Hall of Fame nominees for the Bears?
I think Peanuts worthy. I don't know about Krutz compared to the other centers that are in Hall of Fame. Right? I definitely don't know about Briggs. Right?
Let's see if I can find out some information.
We're going to get to that storm in a second.
Okay, so Krutz and Briggs are modern era nominees for the fourth straight year. Tillman is in the group for the third consecutive year.
I think Tillman is worthy.
I thought Tillman was like an MVP at times for the Bears. Yeah. So
I agree with
Tillman. I don't know how you can't put Hester in. Hester was one of the most electric kickoff punt.
He changed the game
in history. Besides what?
But you have those old school voters who think that it's kind of like trying to vote a punter into the Hall of Fame, right?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading stuff at the same time.
DR, this is exactly what I said to Vic during the game, but he didn't think I was. He thought I was crazy.
What did you say? Go ahead.
I said they should have kept running the ball.
They did. I don't understand how you're not getting this. The Bears have only passed 28 times in 2 games.
Right. And they should have passed it. They should have passed it even less with the way they were running the ball.
They needed to pass the ball when they were down that much.
It shouldn't have gotten to that point.
Well, I agree.
If they were running the ball earlier. In that second quarter, they needed to run the ball more.
You should look at the stats because they still tried to run the ball.
They ran 9 plays in the second quarter.
Yes, and how many were rushing plays? 4?
Not enough.
It was 4 and 5 maybe?
Not enough.
They had lousy penalties in the second quarter, and that's hard to. Yeah, then we'd be complaining them running the ball at 3 and 22.
And I agree with Skokes on this one too.
Yeah, so Patrick was snapping the ball today.
Because Jenkins has been incredible.
He's been outstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think if Patrick and Jenkins there on the right side, that's going to open up a ton of holes. And I think that pass protection is going to be better.
I agree, man. I agree. In fact, talking so the Bears are playing the Texans. I've got a cool thing to show everybody in terms of the rankings of these two guys, these two teams. Is that big enough?
It's good enough for me.
It's good enough for you. All right, there we go.
Okay.
All right, so we can see here the Bears points per game is ranked 26, equal with the Texans. It's kind of a confusing table, quite honestly.
It is.
Yeah, because it should be the ranking should be on the left side here. So this row here is what for
The actual
Houston.
numbers, those are the raw numbers and
Yeah,
percentages.
they should have. Yeah, they should have. Yeah,
But look, it jumps out at me that the Bears are number one rush percentage
yes.
defense
No, that's
or
offense.
running. Yeah.
Offense. So run the ball more.
They should have run the ball more.
If they ran the ball more in the second quarter, they'd be at 70% maybe. Still number one. They're 30. They're the worst team in pass percentage.
Listen,
And then
I'm going back what DR said. Should have run the ball 40 times.
You're not going to win just running that ball.
I'm not worried about winning every single game. I'm worried about winning that game last Sunday night.
You weren't going to win that game running the ball that whole game.
They almost scored a touchdown without having to throw a pass that entire drive.
That is correct. That one drive. Yes. They were not going to do that. There's no way. You can't win the game just rushing the damn ball. You could see the opponent's rushing percentage.
Had they run the ball more,
32.
had they run the ball a little bit more.
Are you going to die on this hill, man?
Yeah,
they would have the ball a little more in the second quarter.
They would have tired out that defense.
When they got 3 or 4 penalties and they were way back there, they wouldn't have even got a first down. They still would have punted the ball.
Okay.
I won't even mention this.
I'm gonna die on that hill.
I know. Yeah, when you want to argue with me, you go to the hill, buddy.
I have my conviction.
All right, you do. So what do we want to see from the Bears against the Texans?
Run the ball. Run it 40 times. Give it to Monty 40 times.
I want to give it to Carl. Let's give the ball to Carl. Let him run the ball and get crushed.
Run it 40 times. No.
That pumpkin skull will just go.
Yeah, I think you got.
Oh, now you changed his tune. Here we go.
No, I'm gonna throw this out to because I was having this conversation with someone at work today.
Yeah.
It almost looks like Fields is overthinking everything. Like he's just not playing. He's just thinking too much. Do you guys agree with that?
From how many pass plays did he have?
But I'm saying even those pass plays, he was hanging on to the ball way too much. I saw something today saying that if you look at the 11-on-11 video, there were guys that were open. He just didn't throw the ball.
I did. I saw one still shot where Kmet was wide open.
And
that was the only one.
Right?
Put Simeon in. Yeah, I agree. They've got to pass the ball down the field more. They've got to get Mooney and they got to get Kmet more involved in the offense. And I hear that's what they're going to try to do. Yeah. But our run defense has got to be a lot better. I mean, you think Lovey's going to be passing the ball 35 times a game?
Like I said it before, I think this first primetime game, the moment was too big for Brisker and Gordon. Hopefully they'll learn from it and they'll be better.
Yeah, I think Gordon had more of the issue than Brisker, but
right.
That whole defense did, man. The rush defense looked terrible.
DR's going to die on that hill with me.
The 49ers beat us in the championship game. Okay. All right. I could live with it, but I think in order for the Bears to have an efficient offense, you can't be just
Absolutely. I agree with that. They have
one-minded,
to,
you know?
yeah. That's why that's why you have Justin Fields to throw the ball and to be
Yeah,
that dual threat quarterback, to throw and to be able to run the ball. Right? You want him to be like
correct.
that Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray,
Anybody else? Anybody else right now?
you know, Josh Allen type of player.
And we want
Right?
our coaches to be able to make changes in the middle of the game a little quicker instead of just at the half. That's what we
Yes.
talked about too.
Yeah, correct. So like everyone out there, Jeffrey Skokes, DR, Storm.
Jeff
I
is
mean,
right
like,
too.
how concerned are you guys that basically Mooney and Komet have been like non-existent in the offense in the first 2 weeks? Right?
Yeah, zero catches from Komet.
He had, well, I don't know. I don't think you can consider the one that was thrown. He had one target, and I don't think you can even consider that a drop. Right?
I agree with Storm too. It is a wasted pick, man. He's got a good arm. He can throw downfield. I think he's pretty accurate downfield. I think he was more accurate than Trubisky was throwing down the field.
Yeah, look, I do think that Justin, the reason you have him is to throw the ball down the field. Absolutely, right? But again, I think it's just more of the offense that the team you're playing at the time. But
yeah, I'm reading Storm's comment. Can you post that?
which one?
About Komet being trash. I was listening to Greg Olson because Greg Olson was interviewed after Mike Martz spewed some more stuff about the Bears offense.
Yeah.
And he was quoted about not knowing about Greg Olson's trade at the time when Mike Martz was coach. And Greg Olson, when he got traded, he was really ticked off and he was bitter about leaving the Bears. But he's gone past that and said that Mike Martz's offensive mind helped him become the player he was over in Carolina. And
He was pissed.
Yeah, but they did ask Greg Olson what they thought of Cole Kmet, and Greg Olson says you can't. He's got all the talent in the world that you would want for a tight end, but if you put someone in an offense that's not going to utilize the tight end and their skills, you can't just say they're trash. So that would be my response to Storm's comment about Kmet being trash.
I just don't know where the offense was. Like, what changed in the play calling from the preseason to the regular season? Because we were both excited about the play calling in the preseason.
We were, but it was very limited too. And it seems like it became more limited. I thought they were all excited. The offense was excited about opening up the playbook.
Correct. Yeah.
But, I mean, we saw a little bit of it in the second half against the 49ers with some rollouts, some screen plays.
And you saw it in the first drive.
Yeah, some good route running. So I don't know what the story was, but maybe they committed too much to the run. I don't know.
You saw that variation of plays in the first drive where we scored the touchdown, right? And then all of a sudden we went away from that. Like I don't know if it was scripted or what the reason was, but right.
Green Bay was playing the Trojan horse, man. They were just going to give us all the confidence in the world, and they shut us down.
Just toying with us.
Yep.
Well,
I know, right?
We'll see this week, right? We are playing Lovey this week and the Texans, so hopefully it's a better showing more than anything else.
So what do we got first? What do we got for score here?
31-17. I'm going to keep saying 31-17 until we get 31-17.
Until it happens?
Yeah. Because you know what happens the second I go away from the 31-17?
They're going to score 31. I've been hanging around the 20s. I'm going to say this game is going to be, let's see,
You don't think they open up the playbook this week?
They they've been saying that since we started. So I'm going to say 24-12.
I love Waffle House, by the way.
I like Waffle House too, man.
Got to get
Give
the
me get,
smothered hash browns.
give me Walker Brothers. I'd take
Eh,
Walker Brothers over that. So I'm going to say 21-12 Bears. Anybody else? 16-10
Storm.
Bears, 27-17.
Storm, I'm going for 31 points. I'm going to keep
Did you
saying
see
31.
Did you see Storm's comment on the YouTube channel?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
Carl pulling up all the excuses for the Bears. The
Yeah, it was
apologist.
good.
Carl's the
All right,
apologist for the Bears.
all right. So Velas Jones is still on the injured list.
Yep.
Roquan Smith, I don't know if he has a hip pointer,
He just
whatnot.
didn't
He
practice
was,
today.
yeah, but he's on the injury list.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a hip pointer; it just says hip.
Yeah.
But
I think
I don't know what kind of impact he had on that game either.
I think he played solid.
I wasn't hearing that from other people. What'd you guys think of Roquan? I mean, that's where we were. I think the middle linebackers had a tough game.
Because the front four couldn't make any plays. Like their offensive linemen were getting the second level.
That's a great point. What are you thinking about the Bears playing? Dominique Robinson and Gibson Moore.
Yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
I agree. I've been reading that all over the place. People want to see them in there more. They had the most impact in terms of getting to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think so.
Hole? I don't know what that means. Hey, can we switch topics to the new news about your Lonzo Ball that's going to be healthy and stuff?
He's going to play this season.
That's it. Wow, that's
a bold statement, isn't it?
That's great news, Carl.
He's going to play this season.
Oh my God.
I don't know when, but he's going to play this season.
You know, the thing is with Carl, he's the ultimate optimist. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. There's our good old Lonzo.
He's going to have his knee scoped again or some kind of procedure on the knee. Yeah, Storm, we're all going to be all right. We're going out to watch the game this week, by the way.
I don't know. Is it a noon game? 3:00 game?
I didn't check.
Oh, I
think it's a noon game.
So, okay, so Lonzo is out in the beginning of the year. We assume who's going to be starting in place of him.
I say Io.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. I think Io should be starting, and then you got Dragic on the bench. I still worry about the offense. I'd still rather have Pat Williams coming off the bench.
Would you rather have Antetokounmpo start?
I don't understand why we did that. And then people all of a sudden were saying, "Oh, we got Giannis. Giannis is coming next." You would start Dragic, Storm, over Io? Okay, the reason I would say not, because I'm more confident in Dragic on the second unit giving us some offense. Oh, you're saying Io can't initiate offense? He definitely is not as good as Lonzo with that, but I think he was starting to develop. What about Dalen Terry?
As a starter?
I'm just putting it out there, man. If he thinks that Io can't initiate offense, what are you going to put him in his second? He would. I don't think Dalen Terry is coming off the bench much unless Io Dragic gets hurt. And then Terry's going to be thrust in there, or they're going to be putting Caruso as the point. Or maybe giving it having Levine take up the floor.
Look. I kind of agree with Jeffrey here. I would love to see Lonzo back sooner than later, but I don't want to rush him along.
Yeah, let's not rush him. Let's just keep him out for the next year and a half.
As long as you make the playoffs and you have a healthy Lonzo in the playoffs, it really doesn't
Playoffs.
matter where we finish,
You can't talk about
right?
playoffs. Okay, so I think this immediately changes the Bulls' race. I would originally, if they were healthy, I would say they were going to be between 4 and 6. Now I would say they're going to be between 6 and 8 seed.
I think top six.
Well, we're close. I said 6.
Top six. But look, I understand where you would want to start Dragic over Io, right? But either way, Io's going to have to play some point, whether he's starting or coming off the bench,
Yeah.
right?
Io though, I don't see him. I agree with Storm to a certain extent. I mean, he's a decent ball handler, but he's not that exceptional passer. I mean, he can pass decently, but he's not. I don't think he's like shown to be an NBA point guard. I see him more as an off guard.
Do you think AC is more of a point guard?
Honestly,
Because Io was a point guard in college.
no, I know that. I know that, but I haven't seen that in the translate to the NBA very well. He's good in open floor as a point guard, but in terms of half court offense, I'm not so sure.
Do you go
Caruso,
like, for example, like do you put Io in that starting lineup? But like you said, either have um, Patrick Williams or Zach or DeMar initiate the offense.
they might have to.
I say Vooch,
Are
point
you
center,
serious? Or are you
point
joking?
center, point center.
I like the idea of getting the ball to him, kind of like they did with Joakim Noah to run the ball through. I think that's a great idea.
So you really think he doesn't contribute offensively? I think he does. I mean, look, he's great defensively.
I think I agree with you, Carl. I think AC brings more to the offense than you realize. He's a good floor spacer and makes tons of cuts, and he's good with ball movement. And one thing we knew with the Bulls, oftentimes without him and Lonzo, they literally did not move the ball and make cuts. Lonzo, Javante, all are good about moving without the ball. It's the other guys that you got to worry about.
Yeah.
I agree with Storm on that too. So Dragic, Levine, DeRozan, Williams, Vooch. You know what?
You're still on the
I
Patrick Williams thing.
I am. I'm fixated on it because I can't. Who is our next five scoring the ball? You got. I mean, Io, Javante, DJ,
AC.
Drummond, and
That's your five.
AC. I know that's your five, but that's
But
not.
keep in mind, it's not like old days where you have those five playing all at the same time.
That's true. The way Billy Donovan rotates the team, yeah, you're right. Levine or DeRozan was almost always on the floor. So, and if and honestly, I think Levine needs to take a huge step up and be the star player over DeRozan this year. And I hope we see that, and he's got to play a heck of a lot better defense. Maybe this is a great wake up call. I mean, they saw that second half of the year when they were down so many players that their defense needed to step it up. So hopefully they're more prepared and ready to play as a better defensive unit.
Well, they'll get tested early because that first schedule, that first week and a half is brutal. I
It
think
is.
they have like 3 or 4 games in the first week. I think
Yeah.
1 or 2 of them is against Boston.
Let's answer this question from Dre. He is now known forever as Dre.
I'll go with Io.
Ayo, technology. Um, who is your candidate to take?
I don't know. I take that back. Patrick Williams.
It's got to be Patrick
It's
Williams.
going to be Patrick Williams.
Patrick Williams has got to have a fantastic year, but I still don't know how he's going to do that in the starting five with DeRozan and Levine taking most of the offensive shots, and Vooch is still that third. I mean, unless Patrick Williams changes into like that third option more.
Well, what'd you say he had to score like 13 points a game, Patrick Williams?
I think Patrick Williams needs to be 14-7 this year, and that'll be very impactful.
So 14 points isn't very many shots.
No, it's not. But
you're talking about maybe.
I think he was. I mean, that would increase his points per game. Probably. I'm just guessing. I'm not looking at the stats. Probably what 5-6 points per game.
Right, but realistically, you're looking at maybe if you're looking to score 14 points a game, you're looking at 10 to 12 shots per game.
Yeah, and that would be good for him.
That in order for him to get 10 or 12 shots a game,
there'll be some games that he does worse, and there's some games he's going to hit 20.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're looking around that average, Zach and DeMar wouldn't have to give up that much in order for him to get his 14.
No, that is true.
Right?
You're right.
I mean, you're already losing the Lonzo shots already as is, right? Whatever shots Lonzo was going to take.
So if you got Patrick Williams scoring 14-7, 14-10, you got Vooch, what was he, 17-10?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Levine was low 20s, I think. Low to mid 20s, and DeRozan was around there. That's pretty good four in terms of offensive talent. It's their defense that's going to be scary. So I don't know when Storm was saying Dragic. Io is better defensively than Dragic. So you would have Io and Williams as two really good defensive guys, and three guys who are going to be a weak link. That's troublesome. That's why, I don't know what other option you've got though.
You know what other option you got?
Put Drummond as center and Vooch second.
You run the ball 40 times. That's your option.
All right, I'm done. I quit.
No, look. You keep in mind Drummond's on that second unit also, right? So that's more defense even. I don't think you're going to count on him. He's just going to pick up garbage points. I don't think you're counting him as an offensive threat, are you?
No, not at all. Not on the second unit. Who are you starting? I think we're both agreeing on Io, point guard, over Dragic. Carl,
only because I want that scoring from Dragic on the second unit.
So do I. All right. So and then you got Levine and you've got DeRozan. That's easy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Vooch and Williams. How are you not starting Vooch?
Correct.
I still would take Williams. I would start Vooch and Drummond, and I would put Williams on
the second unit.
On the second unit, with who?
I could see that
DJ, Javante, Dragic, and Caruso. It's a small unit, but those are some pretty good defensive players there.
Do you think that if you bring Patrick Williams off the bench, that you're trying to make him like a 6th man of the year candidate? That's the kind of player you want him to be. That kind of impact player off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He can make a huge name for himself, I think, coming off the bench, but I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think that's what they've sold him on.
I don't think so either. But I can't see Patrick Williams. I worry that he's going to be too complacent, sitting on the outside, not making basket cuts like he needs to when the offense is spread out and they're just passing the ball around the top of the 3-point line.
Here's the real question, because in the NBA game, they always say it's not necessarily who starts, it's who finishes the game, right? Because the 90s Bulls teams were famous for, like, Bill Carter would start the game, he never finished the game, right? Luke Longley started, right? He never finished, right?
That's true, man.
Who's your 5 you finished the game with? I think that's a different answer.
That is, I would say Patrick Williams. Well, it's very similar though. It's the Patrick Williams, Vooch. And it depends on the score. You may even put Drummond in there for Vooch. I don't know. But Patrick Williams, Vooch, Levine, DeRozan, and then I think you got to go with veteran presence there and put Dragic in at the end.
What do you guys think? Who's the 5 you finished a game with?
That was a great question, Carl.
Thank you.
I was impressed with that one.
That's what happens when you run the ball 40 times. You get some clarity. So
no, you run yourself into a brick wall 40 times. Yeah. You just want 4 of them out there?
I think that's a valid point, because it depends if you're winning or losing toward the end of the game, right?
Well, I'm thinking I'm assuming it's a close game. When we're talking about that last 5,
I think more times than not, it's gonna be Dragic, right? That's a great point by Storm.
That is a good point, Storm. Yep.
Right.
I digress. Yep, the 5th is dependent. I totally agree with that, but it's disappointing news, but it also brings a lot of iffiness that hopefully will be exciting to play out.
And we didn't even talk about Kobe White.
It's almost like we forgot about him. Yeah, honestly, it's going to be Caruso, Kobe, Javante, DJ, and Drummond. I'm missing someone else.
Antetokounmpo.
Oh, he's not doing anything.
Who's the other center that we've got on that team? The guy we're going to cut once we're able to cut him.
Bradley?
Tony Bradley.
What about Simonovic?
Oh, Marco. We forgot about Marco, too.
Yep. And then
he's going to be toward the end of the bench.
Jalen Turey.
Right?
Now?
I don't know what he's talking about. All right. Well, it's a good time of year because it is kind of the transition period. We're transitioning to the fall and winter sports. We're going to Bears and Bulls, right?
Yeah, it's going to be soon. We're going to have some preseason action coming with the Bulls. That's awesome.
And it'll be good talking with you guys almost more often because we'll have a lot more Bulls stuff to talk about and more games, and then also the Bears stuff. So the Sundays where the Bulls and the Bears play on a Sunday night, those will be good Sundays. So we'll wait and see what's happening. So everyone, thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for tuning in to the live stream as usual cast of characters on Wednesday night. If you haven't had a chance yet, guys, do us a favor, just hit the like button because it does help us out. We know you guys have already subscribed, but for those who haven't hit the subscribe, hit the bell, get notified on future episodes. We will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace.
Love.
And digits.